Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon or good day. Okay, I'm going to explain on the software that we are going to use, which is Blender. Alright, as you can see here, this is the latest version, which is 2.81. Is a alpha version. Okay, so this is the startup interface for if you open Blender 3D. Okay, so this is, you can hide this. You can start using the Blender by clicking anywhere, right? So by default, you can see a cube in this our workspace area. Okay, so on top of our Blender here, this is the main menu, which we can use depending on our purpose. Alright, so of course for this is the main menu. We have file, edit, and also render, and also window. And the other main menu here is totally depending on our purpose. For example, this is the layout, which is the default for Blender. And if you click on this one, this is on the modeling section, which if you turn on the edit mode, so you can manipulate the object by point or line and faces. Alright, other than that, you can see this one is sculpting. I will explain this later. And for the UV editing, if we want to wrap our object with texture, okay, we need to unwrap this object first. And this is the UV layout that we get from a cube here. And then we can save this layout UV map, and then we can open using any image editing software, and we can edit, and after that we can wrap back our cube based on the texture. Alright, so another tab is a texture pane. What's the difference between UV editing and texture pane? So for the texture pane, you can import text, any image or texture, and then you can directly apply on our cube, right? And then we have shading and also animation. Alright, so each of the tab, they have a different purpose. And for this one is the animation. So as you can see, you can view the final this is the camera view, and then this is our workspace. At the bottom you can see the timeline. So timeline is to arrange our animation. But for this semester, for this subject, we are going to focus on editing, texturing, and also sculpting. Right, so for 3D animation 2, we start with the animation. Okay, and then the next step is the rendering. So if you are modeling any 3D object, then you can export the object into static image. Okay, it depends on you. Either you want to export into JPEG format or any image format. Okay, so we can go back to the layout tab on top. So this is the cube, basic cube, and then we have the default camera also, and lighting here. Alright, so this panel, they will show all the object that appear in our workspace. So on our left side here, this is the toolbar. Okay, so but for the default one, we have the select box, and then cursor, and also move, rotate, and also scale, and then transform. Okay, so if you cannot see the toolbar, you can press T to view to call back the toolbar. Okay, if you suddenly press T or suddenly your toolbar not appear, you just press T on your keyboard, and then you can see back the toolbar panel. Alright, and other than that, on our right side here, we have the gizmos. Okay, so for the gizmos here, we can use to change our perspective in our workspace, alright, which you can simply click. For example, I'm clicking on the y-axis and click and drag, move to another side, so you can view from the other side. Or if you want, if you click on the z-axis, and then you can turn it around, or you can double click on the center to change the perspective from the perspective and to orthographic. So basically for 3D animation, we need to look at any perspective, orthographic and also perspective, to make sure that our object in the correct position, and also the size, everything. Okay, so you can double click back to change the this one is a right orthographic, and then if you click on the right side, they will change to back orthographic. Or you just simply you press middle mouse button and then drag to anywhere. Alright, so it automatically move. Alright, and you can see this one is a user perspective. Okay, so other than that, okay, so other than that, on how to control the environment, basically for 3D, we have how to navigate the 3D viewpoint. We have three things that you need to remember. So the first one is the orbit, which is you need to click middle mouse button, and then you can turn around your object, and then you can use to pan, which is to move the object left and right. You can press shift together then with the middle mouse button to move it like this. So this one we call it as a panning. And the third one, which is the last one, is a zoom in, zoom out. Okay, so that you can see the object clearly closer to you, or you can see the whole 3D environment here. Okay, so again I repeat, for navigation for the 3D viewpoint, we have the first one is the orbit. You can use middle mouse button, which you need to click and hold at the same time you move your mouse. Alright, so this one orbit. And then the second one is a panning, which you need to press shift together with the middle mouse button. You press your middle mouse button and then move your environment. And then the third one is the zoom in and zoom out. Okay, so you can use scroll button, and then you can see your object clearly. Alright, so at the same time you can use the gizmos to see the object clearly, or from left side or right side, or back side, top view, and also bottom. Okay, which is we can see all the six side lah, which is front, back, and then top and bottom, front and left and right. Okay, so this is the first part, okay, which is on how to navigating 3D viewpoint. Okay, and the second one is on how to selecting object in the new version Blender. So for this one, the default selection is by pressing left click. You can press left click and then you click on the object, it will automatically select. Okay, so for example, I have this cube, and then when I press left click, you can see the orange line here, means that this object are being selected. Or you can see on our panel here, you can see the blue color here, means that we are selecting our cube. Alright, and then we have another camera and also light. Alright, if you left click here, you can see now you are selecting the line, and then if I right click here, we are selecting camera. Okay, so you can press A to select all the object in your viewpoint. Okay, and then you can press A twice to deselect. Okay, for example, I'm pressing A one time, means that I'm selecting the whole object. So the whole object in you can see the orange line color like this and this one. And if you press A twice or two times, means that we are deselect the object, the whole object. Okay, double. Right, so now we are not selecting any. So in here, left click. If you right click, then this one I will cover next video. Okay, so basically this is the basic for Blender. So basically for Blender, we can use to model 3D object, we can create a 3D environment, we can apply texture to so that our object become more realistic, and then we can produce animation. Alright, so that's all for this part. Okay, thank you.